Hello, everybody. This is Ian Beckles, and welcome back to the Plant Power Podcast. Hopefully, everybody had a wonderful week. First and foremost, let me show some love to CuraLeaf, who is our title sponsor. There's CuraLeafs everywhere, and we actually have my boy Brandon coming on, who got a promotion, everybody. So we're going to celebrate that. And also, Tom and I are heading to Mount Dora this weekend to go through the grow house. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we're going to break that down. But one love to CuraLeaf. CuraLeafs are everywhere. I just came from a CuraLeaf, 50% off. And I swear to God, it's 50% off every day. So people stop asking me if there's deals, because there's deals almost every darn day at CuraLeaf, and that's real talk. Now, let's get to some cannabis talk. My partner here, Mr. Tom Ponzo, how you doing, brother? How's life?
All right, man. Very well. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Life
Great.
is good. Now, I get Tom Ponzo to do some investigative journalism for me. First of all, you were breaking down a strain today. What strain did you break down?
Black Widow.
Let's do it.
Black Widow. I had some today. It's a hybrid of South American and South Indian sativa, and what it's supposed to do, it's make you nice and relaxed.
Nice.
Which it did. I took some today, and I read up on it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is making me
You
feel
look
relaxed.
relaxed.
I am relaxed
Yeah, you
today.
are. Yeah, you are.
Especially relaxed today. And it helps with pain, as most strains do. But you look into the terpenes a little bit inside the marijuana, because all of our endocannabinoids
Yes.
are different. So how we react to certain strains of terpenes
Sure.
affects or tells us how the drug's going to affect us. So that's why I try to do a little bit of experimenting,
Sure.
finding out about that. And this particular brand, Black Widow, made me very relaxed today. I'm actually a little bit more jumpy than I normally am.
That's okay. That's okay. But I'm going to say this about marijuana. Everybody is different. Just like I used to be a drinker. Some people like vodka, some people like gin. Marijuana is the same thing. Certain strains will affect you differently. Different times of the day you take it. Indicas, sativas, a whole 9 yards. So there's a lot of different variations. So kind of, pick and choose and feel out what's best for you. And as you get along, you'll figure things out. I'm not particularly picky myself. You know what I'm saying? I just like to get it in. I just like to get it in, and that's it. And that's what it's all about. So, Black Widow, thumbs up for Black Widow.
Thumbs up for Black Widow.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we just got over a pandemic. Okay, and the pandemic affected some things positively, and it crushed some other things. You know what I mean? I know you came up with some statistics about the pandemic and how it affected cannabis. How did it affect cannabis?
50% of cannabis users have increased their consumption since the pandemic started.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you're sitting at home, like as somebody who uses cannabis, the longer I'm home, probably the more I'm going to smoke.
The more opportunity you have.
The less you're at work, the less you're going to smoke. So with the pandemic and everybody being at home majority of the time, I would think that people were waking and baking on the regular basis.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
no question.
No, no doubt about that.
No doubt about that. Now, on the same line, cannabis sales to female customers increased by 55% during that time.
Wow.
Yeah, to female customers.
Just females.
Females, 55%. And weed sales reached $25 billion in 2021, a 40% increase from 2020 when the pandemic started.
40% increase.
And this year is expected to reach $32 billion.
Unbelievable. So like I said, some businesses, restaurants and things like that, and a lot of them went under. We know that. They're still haven't come back.
I know.
There's some businesses that have flourished beyond belief, and I think cannabis is one of those businesses.
Unquestionably, and you're set up for such an explosion in this market all around the country.
Yep.
And considering that, 44% of all Americans now have legal access to recreational cannabis.
It's that high already.
It's that high already.
Well,
44% of Americans.
You got to figure in 10 years it's going to be above 60%.
I would think so.
For sure.
Sure.
For sure.
And hopefully at that time, it's legal everywhere, man.
It needs to be legal
It's
everywhere.
gotta be.
And
91% of adults want to legalize it.
so is it 9% that strong? I guess 9% has to be strong as hell. I guess. But listen, we're here fighting for it every single day, and we want to be a proponent for it. And when it does get legalized, I'm not going to say I'm going to be one, but I just want to say I helped to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Now, as somebody who speaks on cannabis on a consistent basis, people come to me with a lot of questions, okay? And one of the questions I get a lot is, can I have a gun and can I also have my medical marijuana card? Now, we I think you were actually producing at the time when we had Nikki Fried on.
Yes.
On Beckles and Retcher, and I asked her, and she said there was a way around it, but I never could really figure it out. What did you find out about the laws of having a medical marijuana card and your gun license?
Well, you can't.
That's what I thought.
You can't.
Yeah.
And this is where we talked about last week, the stigma of marijuana. It's still rampant in the governmental side of everything. So, and it's still listed as a Schedule I drug. So because it's still listed as a Schedule I drug federally, if you're known to use it, you can't own a gun, and vice versa here in Florida. If you own a gun, we have a friend, Double D, who he owns a gun. He can't get a medical license.
Correct.
And it's unfortunate, but what do you think's going to happen? I mean, I don't know, if you're an alcoholic or you drink a lot, you're more apt to use a weapon than someone who's sitting around chilling, smoking a joint.
Our
man.
country,
it doesn't lead to violence.
Listen, governments and countries are all hypocritical, by the way.
No kidding.
And to let somebody go from a liquor store to a gun shop and buy a gun is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life, okay?
No doubt.
So, and my thing is, if you make it illegal to have a gun license and to have your medical marijuana license, what are people going to do? They're not going to get one or the other. And that's not good.
Right.
That's not good.
Right.
So if people that have their guns don't want to get the medical marijuana license because they don't want to mess with it, then they're on the streets getting it illegally. Now they're messing with fentanyl and all that kind of stuff like that, and they're doing things illegally. So, some of our rules here in our country are they're backwards, and they don't help us ultimately.
Not only that, if you have a gun, you're more apt to use it.
Alcohol and guns. I mean, once again, I used to be a drinker, okay, and one of the reasons why I didn't like guns, and I still don't really love guns, is because, if you're a drinker, you do dumb stuff, and the last thing you want to do is have a gun around when you're drunk. Okay, I haven't been drunk in a long time, and I don't really miss it. Okay, but to me, smoking marijuana and being, you can get intoxicated by smoking marijuana. We all know that. But that's a different feel than being drunk. I mean, the last thing I want to do is go look for a gun when I'm high. You know what I'm saying? I want to go to sleep. But the thing is, when you're drunk, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
How many fights are caused because people are high?
None.
Exactly. There you go.
None.
When you're drunk, though, you tend to get a little out of control. It intensifies your personality.
It gets a lot out of control.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about starting a consumption lounge here, and we're going to have a private club eventually. And I talked to a few people in the consumption lounge business, and they were talking about legalizing it and, kind of pairing it up with alcohol. And I just looked at them and I was like, you're going to pair up marijuana and alcohol? Like, to me, that's the worst pairing known to man.
Not a smart idea.
I own a kava shop here. Well, I sell kava and kratom, and kava and kratom to me are almost family to marijuana. So as we go forward and we start this private club and we do things moving forward, and there's this consumption lounges, if it ever gets recreational, you won't see me mixing alcohol and marijuana.
Never.
I don't know why anybody would want to mix those two things. As somebody who used to do both, you make bad decisions. Okay, I think everybody knows that as we move forward.
Not only do you make bad decisions, you get crazy. You get really super high. It just depends on for me, it depends on the order in which you take it.
Correct.
If I drink and then smoke, then I can't handle life.
As somebody who used to be a drinker, I used to be able to take a couple gummies and be blasted. Now I don't drink. I mean, I can take a substantial more gummies, and it's just not the same effect. So everybody, just be safe out there with your alcohol and your weed consumption. Now we got a couple. We're gonna move on here, and we're gonna bring my guy in, Brandon Manuilow, who just got a promotion at CuraLeaf. So don't go anywhere. A little CuraLeaf talk on the other side with my guy Brandon Manuilow. We'll be back. Welcome back to Plant Power Podcast, and once again, thank you to CuraLeaf for being our title sponsor. And over here at the Dignitary Tea and Kava House, we do have a cannabis doctor right now that's in our building right here, and you can go to cannabisdocgroup.com, and you can make up your appointment right there. And really, you come in, it takes a few minutes, you roll up in here. Like, I've never seen anybody get denied, okay? Everybody asks me how hard is it to get. I've never seen anybody denied. So come over here, hang out, Dignitary Tea and Kava House, cannabisdocgroup.com or 813-501 888-848-4777. Now, this young man, I had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and since then has got a promotion, everybody. My guy, Brandon Manuilow. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man.
And what did you used to be, and what are you now, if I may ask?
Wow. Well, same person I always was. I was the Southeast region trainer, so I dealt with all of Florida. Florida's a region by itself. It's huge out there. And now I'm going to be helping lead the national team. So I get to spread the Florida love and the good vibe. If you've shopped with us, you know that vibe.
No doubt.
The CuraLeaf vibe. You know, that's why we go. And I get to spread that out to the rest of the country. So I'm excited.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you paved the way in the cannabis industry, and you keep on paving your way up.
Just keep going.
I love it, man.
I think that's like the coolest thing about it is in training I get to share my story with people.
Sure, yeah.
And success stories are good, and there's, you know, it's just emerging. There's a lot of opportunity for everybody in this industry. So come on and apply, CuraLeaf.com, jump on there, go to careers. I'd love to see you. You'll meet me eventually.
No doubt. And listen, I consider myself a success story too with cannabis, having played in the NFL for 9 years. For those of you that see me running around town, and I don't know if I'm literally running, I'm not a big runner, but I move around okay for an old cat that has done what I've done, and a lot of it is because of cannabis. I'm serious about that, because, you know, when I play, a lot of people were handing out pills, and that's what we were ingesting at the time. And what they really should have been doing is giving out marijuana, okay? And I think the rules and regulations have eased up a little bit since in the NFL, which is a beautiful thing. So at least we're heading in the right direction now. Being associated with CuraLeaf, I do have some perks. You brought me. What did you bring me here first of all?
That is the new release. Just came out recently. The Durban Tie. And the reason I brought it, I mean, the strains are coming out all the time, but this is like a representation of a lot of hard work of all the people at Mount Dora and Homestead. That's a homemade strain, and it's the first of many homemade strains that are going to come out. And you're going to see some interesting names because we've got to name them. We actually had a contest with the dispensaries.
Oh boy.
One of the teams got to name one of the strains.
Really?
And we've been coming up with some creative ones because the genetics are being made in-house, man.
No doubt, yeah.
Cool thing is, if there's any strains you love with CuraLeaf, like, we're crossing those strains with other ones, and we're just making new options. So it's kind of like, you know, have you ever had Pringles and had two different flavors at the same time?
Of course.
It's the only way to make Pringles
Do I look
better.
like I haven't done that? Right?
Right? It's kind of the same thing. We're taking different strains. We're taking the things we love about them. And I actually brought this nifty computer. I want to give a shout out to Anthony Knight Hill because now I can see the different varieties of the strains and how many different choices that we pick through before they actually make it to that. And that one right there, that girl right there, she is lemony and she is delicious. And it is just like a very clean, finely built flower. One of the best that we've put out. So go check out the Durban Tie next time you're around. And anything with Thai in it is going to be something that we've crossed with that, if you like it. So keep your eyes peeled.
It's delicious. First of all, when you told me that we were going to be talking about that, I went to CuraLeaf and got me some. So
you were there 5 minutes before I was.
Yeah. Well, so I tried to buy up all of it, but you know, basically, I've been smoking this all week, and it's absolutely delicious. And for people, I've had at the beginning, I heard people say, "Oh, CuraLeaf's their flowers, they don't have great nugs." Get out of here. Seriously. You don't get much bigger nugs than that. Seriously.
Hey, I'll tell you this much. I know everybody out there at the grows, and a grow's a living thing. And this thing, which I have a surprise for you. So we talked about it the first time I was on here.
Yes.
Tour's official. This Saturday, we're going to get you in there, VIP tour with Anthony, one of the managers of the facility.
Yes.
We're going to get you pics. We're going to get you locked in, and we're going to see about doing some cooler stuff there. But you're going to see how gigantic and how large scale these things are, and it's all done by people. And Anthony's a person, you're a person, I'm a person, and I think that's what the dopest thing about cannabis is. Like,
no doubt.
Everywhere you go, it's just people like me, it's people like you, and it's people just coming together that all believe in one thing, making it happen.
No doubt.
So get ready to have your, like, if you haven't seen a big, large-scale facility, this is going to be one for the record books in the journal, man.
I haven't seen a small-scale facility. The only place I've ever gone is, I went to San Antonio one time, and I think it was G13 Hemp Company it was. It's a small farmers, they're doing it themselves, so they're doing hemp outside.
Sure.
But I almost can't imagine how big big the grow house is, but what about size-wise? I mean, how big of a grow house is this?
So I don't even want to say.
Is it a football field full of weed?
So imagine a football field indoor full of marijuana plants, and then imagine like that built around the factory that constantly churns it out. And imagine just like walking into every door that you walk into, it's like walking into a different room at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
You beat me to that one.
Yeah.
Because I was actually in that play in elementary school. I was Veruca Salt's father. She was white and my wife was white in the play. I never understood that, but anyways.
Before the times.
Yeah, it was way before the times.
My man.
But I could picture that, walking in different rooms at a dispensary or at a grow house and different things happening. Like, what are the different? Okay, it's growing obviously, but what other processes are happening there?
So everything happens at the grow. As far as our flower products go, all the cloning of the plants, so the consistency of product that happens there, the moving around, setting up the tables, but there's also the packaging for all of our flour. It happens right there on site. Okay. Man, we also have a rosin press machine out there.
I love to see that.
And we also have a couple cool other surprises for you out there that of some new cool products that are going to be coming out, some extraction processes. So it's literally a factory. It's a cannabis community within CuraLeaf itself.
No doubt.
And that's why I want to have you out there, because we want to celebrate them. We want to reward them for all their hard work, and we want to collaborate.
Correct.
And do some more fun stuff to get your name out and to let people know, what we're doing here, and that flower is fire. It's some of the best flower I've seen.
That's a fact. And so this is Durban Thai. I mean, how many homemade strains you guys have at this moment?
Well, looking through this, I think I saw 4 or 6 varieties of the Durban. Sky's the limit. Like, we're just getting into this. We're really growing up now. We're putting on our big people pants, if you will. A lot of learning coming up and a lot of explosive growth. So I would say, whatever strain you want, walk into a CuraLeaf and let one of your people there know, and they'll get it back to us.
Sure,
and if we can get enough feedback and we get enough fire going out there on social media and stuff, we will find a strain that you want and get it out to the store.
So if somebody hits a strain anywhere that they love, you could go to CuraLeaf and say, hey, can you guys look for this strain for me?
We could get some close, man. There's ways to do it, because I mean, that's a great conversation with Anthony, because cannabis is illegal to carry across state lines. Correct. But different things like plant cultures and pollen are not. So there are ways to bring genetics around and get them into these gardens, but we don't know what anybody wants unless they communicate, and that's, the dispensary, end of the day, it's supposed for people to communicate. And that last segment that you did, I loved it, because some people may have smoked that 100 times, but there's new people that just started today.
Correct.
And I think people forget that, and that's why we have to be a broken record. We have to repeat ourselves, and we have to be here and make ourselves available, because there's someone brand new today stepping into this, and we gotta be there to support them.
And listen, if I had a nickel for every time somebody said, I go, do you smoke marijuana? Oh no, I tried it in high school, I didn't like it. And I go, well, that dirt weed crap that you smoked in high school is certainly not the same thing. And marijuana now is more of a science than it used to be way back in the day. Well, Brandon, congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to going to see the grow house on Saturday. Yeah. And looking forward to you sitting in and bringing us knowledge on a regular basis.
Appreciate being here.
Good stuff. Don't go anywhere. Plant Power Podcast will come back with Mr. Mike Minardi, who is running for office. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Plant Power Podcast. This is the last segment, and I want to thank the great Tom Ponzo and Brandon as well from CuraLeaf for the last couple of segments. And my last guest here is Mr. Mike Minardi, who I've known for a long time. I don't remember where we met, but it's been quite a while, and he's running for office. I'm gonna let everybody know that I don't even do politics. I don't even really believe in politics. So that's as real as I can get. But I believe in what this young man believes in, and that's marijuana. So we have Mike Minardi here, who is running for office. How you doing, sir?
I am doing absolutely wonderful.
Wonderful. Now, this is you've never been in office yet, right? Is this your first time running?
Yes, it is.
It is. Now, what made, if I'm not mistaken, marijuana is one of the first things that you put on your docket. Is that correct?
It is. It's the top of the list. It's the #1 priority that we have in Florida, and it's got to happen.
It has to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take before this recreational thing comes about, but like, for instance, like I said, I'm not a political person. I'm not, okay? I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm nothing. I don't like labels. I voted in the last election, and one of the things I do look for is marijuana. Just what are some of the other things that? Okay, I know abortion is one of them. What are some other things people put up there?
Well, so mostly it's cultural issues, infrastructure in Tampa, and stuff like that, and education.
Okay.
And the environment is big here as well. So, the way that I present it is cannabis, number one, can touch all of these things, right?
Correct.
And hemp. Never mind the resources that we can save with regards to law enforcement and put those towards, I'd really like to go against violence.
Yep.
Let's stop that. And we do that, I think, by freeing up law enforcement resources, taking that money from tax dollars from a legal adult market, putting it towards education like they have in Colorado and other states, and, actually let people be free. As you said, one of the cool things about going to events throughout the country, right? I always ask cops and law enforcement officers how they feel about the cannabis event.
Correct.
They laugh, smile.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's way better than alcohol. And people should have the choice, and that's what it's about.
Correct.
And that's what we need to bring here to Florida.
I love it. So, where are we in the state of Florida with cannabis? I'm around most cannabis people. I'm around a lot of cannabis people. We were both at KushCon, and we were around all the cannabis people, including Nikki Fried. Where are we with cannabis right now? Because I've asked some people go, oh, it's going to be this year. Some people say 100% next year. I've heard 5 years. Where is recreational? Where is it right now?
So the reality is the way I see it, and hopefully I'll be in office to help push something next session. But TruLeaf just announced a new petition. We have Regulate Florida's home cultivation petition.
Okay.
I think the goal for both of us is to get these two petitions on the ballot for 2024, and us legalize an adult use sales market and a home cultivation market. They're separate for single subject reasons, but honestly, if the people are going to put the money behind it, I can guarantee you we're going to get this done. So I think 2024 is our end date. It's when it's going to happen, and we're ready for it.
So when you talk about recreational, they're talking about anybody can go out and purchase, but when they talk about growing, like if recreational is passed tomorrow, where would the growing part be?
So, and again, if it's through ballot initiatives, we have the home cultivation. So ours would allow any adult 21 plus to grow 9+ plants in the household. Total of 18 per household. So, that's where it would be. For a ballot initiative, we do have to do it separately, we feel, for constitutional reasons. Honestly, I think if we get it done legislatively, we're not going to see home grow for patients or for adults for a long time. So that's why really, and we only got medical here in Florida because of the ballot initiative process, and even passing at 71%, we still had a legislature that tried to minimize it as much as possible. So, I really think that it's got to be a ballot initiative proposal, and that's the people coming together collectively, signing it and getting on board, and really telling our government and our legislature we want this. We passed medical over by 71%, and I expect really by 2024 legalization will may beat that.
Now, I'm sure you have statistics of other states that have went recreational. Like, what kind of money can that bring to our state?
God, we're talking about, the first year probably $3 billion in tax revenue. And it's really hard to tell because no other state is like ours in that we had a very limited market. You can't compare it to California because they were wide open. People could get it anywhere.
I heard the other day that Florida has the most cannabis card holders in the country. Is that true?
I believe it is, yeah. And we were one of the fastest growing populations.
And we just passed. So in another couple of years, once again, Florida doesn't mess around, dude.
So, and the thing with that is we have one of the largest populations, 20 million. California, again, is a totally different world. So there's really no other states to compare it to. As we know, New York is the other large population state, which is way behind us. As far as patient population, and those continue to grow, a few thousand each every week. And as we see, more licenses will hopefully be issued to open up this market. We expect 22 to 26 new licenses for MMTCs to be opening up within, the next 6 to 9 months after the first black farmer license is given out.
Wow. So we all know that the stigma is not gone, okay? That's why I have this podcast. That's why you're bringing up marijuana on the ballot. So when people are going up against you, are those people that are afflicted by the stigma coming at you that way? Are they saying this guy wants to legalize marijuana, holding that against you? How are they approaching you with that?
Yeah, a few people have, absolutely. At one of the events, they're like, oh, well, how is legalization? They read my website, the gold standard of the green industry and legalizing. How is that a Republican issue? How is that good for people? And we got into it about veterans, because she's like, veterans, use cannabis and then they kill themselves after. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
And then at the end of the story, the veteran that she was talking about also was using alcohol at the time as well, right?
That's in every story, in every single one.
And I've been working with veterans. Out of criminal cases, they're the biggest population of medical marijuana patients I've had throughout the country. And honestly, the things that they see in wartime, it's unfathomable that we can deal with and tell them, hey, you may fight for our country, you put your lives on the line, but you can't use this flower, a plant that is the only thing that really helps you in all your ailments. I had one guy tell me that his doctor told him, listen, I can give you the pain meds or I can give you the psych meds, but you can't use them both together. And he's like, well, I just want to use cannabis. And this was before it was legal. But those are the things that we have to deal with on a regular basis, and there still is the stigma. And I like to say that it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
It is. Well, a number came out that 91% of America wants it to be legal. So how strong could that 9% be? I mean, and once again, I don't know any lawyers or judges that don't smoke weed, so I don't know who's in that 9%. I really don't. And it just getting to a point now where everybody knows this is what's moving forward. This is better for everybody. Statistically, less DUI, statistically less domestic abuse. You can keep on going, and once again, you can talk about the monetary side of it, where any state that becomes recreational, you can see the money that's coming in, and I don't know what Florida's waiting for. Billion is a big number.
It's a huge number, and we have a huge teacher shortage right now in the state, because we can't get teachers there. We're not, necessarily competing with salaries across the country, so that's money that we need right now, to go towards it. And never mind the increased tourism. Colorado went from like 20 million tourists to 80 million in the few years after legalization, and we are already the best place for tourism.
Yes, we are.
Who wants to, have a smoke at a great lounge like you can here and go sit on the beach?
Well, no doubt, Mike. You said it. We live in paradise, and everybody's going to be piling into Florida, and it will help that we get it recreation. Everybody will be able to smoke some good. Well, Mike, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Go out and vote for the man that's about marijuana. I'm not about politics, I'm about marijuana. Everybody have a great week. Peace out.